Hey everybody, welcome back to Elden Ring Dark Moon walkthrough series type thing. A couple weeks ago, I released version 1.3, which is the arena, codename the arena. It's the next content update for Dark Moon, with a slew of changes to it. I released a trailer, and I released an install guide for the new Rocket Mod Launcher since then. But as I've done with 1.0 and 1.2, I figured I would do a slight walkthrough of some of the bigger sweeping changes, just to answer any questions people might have, or just sort of show the new features. So no new classes this time. 1.2 introduced those two classes at the end there. Nothing new this time. So we're just gonna, I don't know, we'll go with a Warlock here. There are some changes here. The reason that we're starting at the start is because there are some changes to the Omnipotent statue at the start. Here, for those that don't know, this statue of maybe Mikola, who's to say, is called the Omnipotent statue, and its purpose is to give you a few options before you leave the Chapel of Anticipation here. So if you'll notice, if you try to leave, it's going to tell you to choose a difficulty at the Omnipotent statue behind you. Normally you're locked out until you take the finger that's over here, but it's not there anymore. So you have to choose a difficulty. This is the new feature though, Begin Journey 2. This is basically a New Game Plus skip that allows you to skip New Game entirely and go straight into New Game Plus. It'll warn you that you won't be able to go back to Journey 1, New Game, Begin Journey 2, and yes, I want to do that. You'll see there it flashed really quickly, give me a bunch of smithing stone shards, and we're in Roundtable Hold, which normally it would just spit you back out at Chapel of Anticipation. So what this is doing is a few things. The first one is obviously it's quick starting you into Roundtable Hold, which gives you things like Torrent, your flasks, the Elden Soup, which is an endgame item in Dark Moon that is mostly intended to be used for New Game Plus runs. It's a buff that gives you a bunch of stuff that you would normally apply anyway, with a bunch of button presses and switches. Now you just do with one consumable that refills it at grace. What it also does, which is pretty cool and sets it apart, is sort of a different game mode instead of just the same game again. Is obviously it unlocks all the maps for you, which I think is a thing normally. I think your maps carry over. I'm not sure. But you'll see that there are a few key graces already unlocked across the world as my cat screams at me. What do you want, man? Oh, now you have nothing to say? Okay. These are kind of intended to let you play the first half of the game in basically any order. So, for example, normally the progression that most people do is they pal around Limgrave and then they do Stormvale, but now you could just go straight to Rykard if you wanted, didn't do Volcano Manor, or you could do, the Shaded Castle. You could go straight to Lane-Del. I'm not sequence breaking here, so you do still need to kill 2 demigods to enter Lane-Del proper and continue there. Maybe in the future I'll have a way where you can really play the game in any order, but for now, just for soft locking and sequence breaking purposes, it's the first half that you can kind of play in any order. So, also, because of the way that the graces are unlocked and you can kind of do things in any order, you'll notice as you play through, the scaling for each area has been equalized, more or less. It's not perfect, but for the most part, for example, an enemy in Limgrave will take and give the same amount of damage that an enemy in the Altus Plateau will. That's basically just an effort to make it so that, for example, if you go and do Volcano Manor first and then work your way backwards towards Limgrave's not going to feel like a cakewalk. It'll probably still feel easier just because of, enemy AI and inherent area scaling. But in general, this zone will be just as hard as this zone in terms of raw damage output on both sides. So another thing that you have here that you'll notice is a buttload of smithing stone shards and runes. These are twofold. You can check the wiki for exact numbers on this, but all you'll need to know basically is that for smithing stone stuff, you have enough regular smithing stone shards to upgrade 3 regular weapons to plus 25, and you have enough somber smithing stone shards to upgrade 3 unique weapons to plus 10. You also have 30 golden seeds to upgrade your flask allotment, the number of uses, to the max. I tried giving this to you immediately, but long story short, couldn't get it to work well. So unfortunately, you'll just have to kind of spam that menu whenever you skip to New Game Plus. And of course, you have the runes, which are meant for spending at the Omnipotent shop, which is open at the Ronnie Puppet. I'll show that in a minute. Obviously, spending on the smithing stones to upgrade your weapons, and of course, leveling up. Doesn't level up you up automatically. That would be annoying. So I'll show you here just by pumping some stats here. It gives you around 4 million runes, which should be enough to get you to a comparable New Game Plus level. You see, if I spend all of them on levels, which I don't super recommend because you still will need some to level up and buy some gear if you want it, gets me to around a level 125. So it should leave you at around a level 100 to 120 based on obviously like how you spend your runes. If you go over here to the Ronnie Puppet and, and buy just like every item in the game at the Omnipotent shop, then you're kind of gonna be shit out of luck. You'll have a hard time probably. All right, heading down to the combat area here at the bottom of Round Table Hold, getting jump scared by the training dummies here. Wanted to show off a few things before we move into the actual big content of the update, being the arena. Oh, hi Aldrich. Let me take care of this real quick. Man, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you, buddy. Now we're back here taking care of that rat. A couple things I wanted to show. First things first, rolls are back. For those who have played Bloodborne, or those who I guess haven't, you'll remember that when you're not locked on, you do roll. You do a normal roll. But when you are locked on, you do the dash. I like this a lot more just because I feel like rolling, it feels a lot better when you're doing it omnidirectionally. Versus, you know, the dash is more kind of pointed, which makes more sense to be locked on. Some other things, new idols. This was a thing I introduced in 1.2. Yeah, famously like this one, the two-handed sort of short weapon or small weapon thing that Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls have versions of. I have some other new idols. For example, spears are held upright now, and this counts in the offhand as well. Some of them look kind of goofy. Most of the time, if you're doing something in the main hand, it looks fine. I've also changed a lot of the like when you're running, they look better. And like, for example, specifically for spears, when you run, they're kind of held pointed forward, because when you attack with them, they, you know, you sort of point forward. Another new idol that's pretty cool is staves. This one's more subtle. I'm gonna remove my shirt here just so you can see it a little better. You can tell here that it's sort of held out to the side a little bit more. Maybe it'll be more obvious if I switch to this one. I'm so used to it that it doesn't really look weird to me, but normally, just like that, the sword, it's held just kind of pointed forward, but now it's held back and curved in a little bit. And it's, again, both hands, a little more obvious in the main hand. But yeah, and then these just get reset to normal when you're running with them. And now for the actual content of 1.3, the arena, which are a series of challenges that are hosted at each of the Colosseums across the lands between. I'm just gonna skip Recusant Henricus here. I don't care about him. He's gonna try, but I have iframes. So one thing that I have added in this update that, oh god, bro, relax. Oh god, I can't rest. Ow, ow. Alright, bud, chill. Like I was saying, one thing I've added in this update is graces to each Colosseum. I've also added a grace to Gowrie Shack. Someone in the Discord wanted that, and graces are pretty easy to add, so I just threw that in there because I thought it made sense for going back and forth between him and Millicent. Kind of annoying, going up and down that mountain. Anyway, you'll see that the main difference here is the Ronnie Puppet is now sitting on this little pedestal in the Colosseums. There's one of these in each Colosseum. For now, with 1.3, Lane Dell is still under construction. but Caelid and Limgrave are open. So once you get to this menu, you'll see 4 options, and then just leave. First one, purchase. This is the Coliseum shop. So I have ported, with the help of some community members, Kara DCD, Madao, Cathal, and Kit, who have done specific armor ports here. I've done a lot of inclusion here in terms of armor. All the Bloodborne weapons have moved here. Those were from Shattered, including the Dragonslayer's Chime from Dark Souls, which is just the regular chime thing that I've repurposed, and then a bunch of armors which you can look at in more detail on the wiki to see who ported them and everything. But the way that you purchase those is you'll see that there's a little blue icon. This is just the people seem to think that like that's what you need, is this little blue bag. That's just the icon that's used for shops that take things other than runes. They all use it. The Dragon Communion shop, which takes dragon hearts, has the same icon. It's just blue because of the UI update. But they're asking for gold coins. And the way that you get gold coins is by participating in the arena, which again is a series of challenges. So, 2 options here. Enter the arena and enter the arena seamless. This is a workaround for now that was introduced with 1.31 to, help with seamless compatibility. But if you're in single player, you just hit enter the arena. It'll make sure that you actually want to, and then you go ahead and enter. This will teleport you into the arena proper, which for the first time you play it is a predetermined set of challenges. All of the challenges, all these encounters are predetermined. Like, they're not randomly generated. They're, like, for example, this one is called Godric's Army. You just, defeat a long incoming slew, like a horde of Godric enemies, until that health bar at the bottom is fully depleted. And before I get my ass kicked here. There we go. So they Star Wars style die all at the same time. And you'll see once you succeed, you get a gold coin. In Limgrave, you get a small amount. So it's either, I believe, it's always like a 1 to 5 chance. You'll get like 1 through 5 or something. I don't remember the exact specifics. But in that case, I only got 1, which is pretty common roll for Limgrave. And you'll see that that's not enough to purchase anything. So we have to go in again and try something else. And like I said, this is a predetermined path, so this next one here is called Crab Rave. Well, pro tip for this one, if you're getting banged on by these crabs, just relax for a bit, because they don't like each other. And they'll beat the living shit out of each other for you. So you can jump in there and kind of go to town. Don't get put to sleep by the silver crabs, though, like I just did, because that's no good. And you'll notice that some of these, like Godric's Army, as I was killing people, it was doing damage to the health bars, but here the health bar only takes damage when someone dies. That is intended, it's just a back-end thing. So if you see the health bar not going down when you're doing damage to an enemy in a specific encounter, don't worry about it. Once you defeat all of the enemies, the encounter will end, and you will successfully defeat it. If that doesn't happen, please report it in the Discord, and I'll look into it. So we just beat that encounter, and we again got unlucky and got 1 gold coin. But that's enough to buy something now. Wahoo. So with 2 gold coins here, we can buy some shoes or some gloves. I don't know, let's grab some new pants here. Let's grab some of these goofy astrologist bottoms. The astrologer set is from Dark Souls 2. It is one that I ported myself. So yeah, this is our new drip. And then just to explain this last option real quick, that says reset progression, it does pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Once you defeat all, I think for Limgrave it's 9, and for Caelid it's 8. Once you defeat all of those encounters, it will start giving them to you randomly. But if for any reason at any time you want to reset and do it again in the set order, maybe you're doing it with a friend for the first time, or you just want to do it again in that order for whatever reason, you can click that button and it'll put you back in the set order again. Die, freaks. Haha. Still getting 1 gold coin. How unfortunate. Alright, over here at the Caelid Coliseum now, didn't know you can go behind the big pot and actually enter the Coliseum. He kind of blocks it. But it's the same as Limgrave, pretty much, just different sets of encounters and higher gold coin rewards because these are, in theory, a little tougher than the Limgrave encounters. But other than that, you know, everything is the same. You still set progression through, like I said earlier, I believe 8 encounters this time. This is another generative one, so those cemetery shades down below will spawn indefinitely until you defeat the encounter. Killing the snails does not stop them from spawning, but killing the snails does do a significant amount of damage to the health bar. These guys do a boatload of damage if you get caught by them, so... Oh my god! Oh! I have 1 health. Yeah, I'm for sure dead. Oh no, I'm not! I have no flasks though. Can he do it? Oh! Yes! Let's go! So you can see there, that was a high roll there. I got 4 gold coins for defeating that, which deserved. I put my work in here. The Coliseum encounters, if you couldn't tell, are also scaled with New Game Plus. So... you know, not outputting as much damage as I should be. That was pretty tough. But I have 4 gold coins now, plus the one that I got from the encounter in Limgrave, so I can buy a chest piece if I want. Let's go ahead and buy the, let's see, we'll buy the Emerald Herald set. Just the ones that I've ported here. So the Emerald Herald set is also one that I ported myself. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for Dark Moon version 1.3. You know, there's more like little tiny changes that you can look at in the full patch notes, which will be on the wiki. I'll put a link to them in the description below. But yeah, get in there, play the arena, do some other stuff. The Lanedale arena, like I mentioned earlier, is still under construction. You know, it's somewhere in here. This right here. It will be ready with 1.4 sometime in hopefully March. I've got a lot going on right now, and 1.4 is ballooning. Just, you know, as I work on it, and as, like, the days pass, I start to worry about, you know, actually getting that out. For those that don't know, I do try to bring monthly updates to Dark Moon, but I have known since the beginning that that's not sustainable, just because I need to eat and spend more time on work to actually, you know, get things done. I'm going to try my best. If 1.4, you know, March's update being 1.4 ends up just being sort of a smaller thing, then whatever. Let me know in the comments if you guys would rather smaller and definitely monthly updates, or, you know, bigger and maybe they're a little late. But I try to keep the scope small, but sometimes it gets out of hand, or a feature that I planned ends up being more work than I had anticipated, which was sort of the case for the arena, which is why Lanedale didn't, you know, wasn't in 1.3. I had to move it to 1.4, but now that it's there, I have more ideas for 1.4, which is making it difficult to get things out. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to stop rambling. There is the link to download everything and everything. Just check the description for anything if you want to play Dark Moon. Get in there. Get in the Discord. Let me know what kind of builds you're using, how you having fun with the frickin' mod. See y'all later.